Shen Wei is a Chinese-born American artist based in New York City. He's known for his intimate portraits of others and himself, as well as his poetic landscapes and still life photography. His work has been exhibited internationally with venues including the Museum of the City of New York, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the Power Station of Art in Shanghai, among others. His work has been featured in the New York Times, The Guardian, The New Yorker, CNN, Aperture, ARTnews, Paris Review, among others. Shen Wei's work is included in the permanent collection of the Museum of Modern Art, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the J. Paul Getty Museum, the Museum of Contemporary Photography, the Library of Congress, the Morgan Library and Museum, among others. I'm your host, Han Hongzheng. Welcome to BlancTalk. Hi, Shen Wei. Welcome to BlancTalk. Let's dive right into the first question. What does self-portrait mean to you? How do you conduct these self-portraits?
Self-portrait for me is my expression for my identity, for my life, and it provides insights to my experience and my emotions. But I think my self-portrait is not really exclusively about me, and I try to express universal feelings that everybody can connect to. How I conduct my self-portrait is actually quite easy. I normally just use one camera and tripod and me, that's it. And I often do my self-portraits when I'm traveling, so most of my self-portraits was done on location. Yeah, it's pretty easy, pretty simple process for me. I think the physical conduction of making a self-portrait is quite easy, but often the most difficult part is to really get inspired to make one. And often I travel to places and I have my camera with me, but I don't really use it because I didn't find inspired. That's actually more of the difficult part, I would say.
Great. Freud has famously linked narcissism to homosexuality, and even though I don't really agree with that, but I'm just curious, what's your take on Freud's understanding of self and homoeroticism?
Well, I think Freud's concept of homosexuality is really outdated. I think he came out of that theory when homosexuality was considered a mental disorder. I mean, clearly, I think if you have one look at social media or anywhere these days, narcissism is not only exclusively linked to homosexuality. It's very much, I think it's very much part of the human nature. And yeah, I mean, of course I don't agree with that either. I think it's outdated and it's clearly already being debunked by modern psychology and modern science, for sure.
You are an avid traveler, and a lot of your work are done during your travels. What do you think about mobility and geography within photography?
Like I said, I do almost all my self-portraits and other work when I was traveling. And so mobility is crucial for my work, and to be able to freely go anywhere you want, and that allows me to discover and explore new things and new ideas. So yeah, I mean, absolutely one of the most important elements for me.
Can we talk about your series, I Miss You Already? It's a series that lasts a decade long, and it also explores your freedom and boundaries. But why do you entitle it I Miss You Already?
The title really came sort of in the middle of the decade. I was making a project without really having the title for a long time, but then after 5-6 years, I don't really remember how that title came to me, but I just thought it was such a a title that expresses an abstract feeling, that kind of feeling that it's universal. We as human beings, we all kind of experience one way or another sometimes. So I decided, I May Already would be the title. You don't really have to read it literally, it's not about literally that sentence, it's about that feeling.
Is it a feeling of nostalgia?
I mean, I was feeling a lot of things, nostalgia, and for sure one of them, but also a way of wanting to belong and human bonding. And I think all of that, it's like I said, it's an abstract feeling. You can put words into it, but my goal is always let the viewer to kind of read it on their own, to respond to it on their own way, in their own way. So.
Amazing. One of my favorite video works of yours is Bubble, 2013. It's sexual and sensual, emotionless and emotional. Can you talk about this piece?
Yeah, I often not very good at talk about my like individual piece.
Yeah.
Because I do all of my work, photography and the video and the drawing in a very kind of spontaneous way, and the video Bubble really also was created that way. It was made in the middle of the night. I just couldn't sleep and I decided to do some things. So I made this bubble video, and kind of blowing a saliva bubble is always something I do. I never really thought about. A lot of people responded they cannot do that, but I was quite surprised because I always, when I was young, that's like one of those things you do kind of unconsciously. So in the video, it starts with kind of playful, blowing a perfect saliva bubble, but then as the time goes along, it really starting to require a lot of endurance because your muscles become sore and saliva become a bit more not as thick. So it changes the whole scenario. And yeah, like when I was making it, there was no plan actually. I didn't know how long I can do this performance really. But I just let it go very spontaneously. It's all kind of intuitive, and I think I would say that's how I conduct most of my work. And then there's a meaning after this. Then people can react and respond in their own way.
Great, that's great. Can you give us a little sneak peek of what you're working on currently?
Currently, I do multiple projects at the same time, all the time. And the past 3-4 years, I've been photographing, making this photography project about the similarity of human body and flowers, and which is two subject matter. It becomes my kind of primary subject matter because almost all my projects you will see this coexistence of human body and plant life. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now, and I don't really know the outcome. I have a lot of images, and my goal is to really see how they will be working together, and I would like to do some installation of this work. Yeah, I think you have to really see it and to understand.
I'm excited to see it.
Thank you.
Great. That's it. Thank you so much for coming.